Assalamualaikum and welcome to my sharing session on the art of visionary leadership. This is series 8 of 10 series in part 1 based on chapter 3 of my book, Mahathir, the Art of Political Leadership. In this series, I will be discussing the topic of Mahathir's early leadership education. Schooling system organizes the process of learning according to ages, right from the childhood, often between 3 to 5 years old, to the adolescence between ages of 17 to 18. This 12-year of schooling system applied almost all over the globe. Tertiary education follows where each student spends at least 3 to 4 years or more. Then they will have to stop at a certain level of a formal education and a certification to look for jobs and develop their careers. However, this system of education is not duty bound to every human being, since learning is naturally not restricted within the compound of schools and colleges or limited for a certain level of ages. Learning is within our human nature. We are born to learn. As learning takes place long before we usually step into school or kindergarten, it will also continue to endure even after we formally left the schools or colleges. At the workplace and everywhere in the public or isolation, we continue to learn. In his memoir, A Doctor in the House, Mahathir shared many of his informal learning experience. Not much the formal education at school as well as in college. Mahathir takes learning as a lifelong obligation. He values non-formal learning as much as the formal schooling experience. He recalled many things related to the family values that firmly shaped the foundation of his early education as well as throughout schooling days and college experience. His parents are the first teachers who inspire and mold his character. He wrote in A Doctor in the House, "Perhaps they will read these pages, especially my recollection of my parents and my own childhood, and find something of interest to them. Perhaps they will learn something that will help explain their father or some aspects of his character a little more clearly to them, or perhaps an insight that they, in turn, may pass on to their own children. There are always lessons to be learned if only we have the wisdom to see them." Mahathir honored his father's dedication to learning. For him, his father is the greatest learner who revered learning and knowledge more than anything else. He said, his father ran to school and not away from it, and he hid his attendance from his parents. It was this peculiarity that ultimately taught me to revere learning and knowledge. His father's dedication to learning encouraged him to learn something alien and even a taboo to the Malay traditional society. He attended an English school run by Christian missionaries in Penang, the Penang Free School. The school taught Christianity as a compulsory subject. The students learn the Christian scriptures. This does not dampen his passion for learning and had not even affected his Islamic faith. Mahathir recalled, he was bent on getting an education because he believed it. He believed it would improve his employment prospects and that his faith in Islam was strong enough to resist proselytizing. Reading or listening to storytelling is not the best way to develop a personal character. It develops throughout the early years of childhood by modeling the nearest family members within the close social context and well-balanced emotional conditions. Mahathir is no exception. A great statesman he is, but he highly values the educational experience gained from his mother. His mother, who, according to him, had shaped my personality more. She taught me the values that I have upheld throughout my life. His mother also taught him to be a hardworking person, never to wish things were easier, but work to make things better. She is an excellent teacher who instills self-directed learning spirit into Mahathir's inner consciousness. He said, "When I wanted to buy a pen, she told me to carry buckets of water for jasmine plants for 1 cent a day to earn money. From her, I learned that this was the honorable way." The same thing goes to manners. Listening to lectures or even reading the great books or ethics is not the best way of learning manners. This is what Mahathir is telling us about manners he learned from his family. According to him, manners were given great emphasis in our home. Malays eat with their fingers, but they do not grab food and soil the palm. Food is to be handled with the right hand only. It was my father who taught me to sit at the table and use fork and spoon to eat. Modesty, compassion, and empathy are among the most important values he learned from his parents through observation and modeling. This learning experience enabled him to shape his attitude of tolerance and respect throughout his life, even when he was on the top of the country's leadership. He said, "When I became Deputy Prime Minister and Prime Minister, I never transferred any member of my staff for bad work, as was usually the practice. Instead, I tried to get them to do what I expected of them by gaining their loyalty. They were usually able to improve and raise their performance to a satisfactory level." There was a famous Arabic saying, "Man is a child of his surroundings. Al-Insan ibnu al-Bi'ah." This should be true to Mahathir and every one of us. Mahathir described his childhood memories and social surrounding vividly, including the neighboring area of his home, the stinking earth drains and black scum floating on the water, the muddy street after it rained, and the flooding neighborhood during the high tide. Mahathir values his childhood learning experience not only as a nostalgic autobiographical story, but also as a valuable treasure that shaped his personality, attitudes, and ethical belief system. This is the most important departing point for our discussion on Mahathir's problem-based leadership learning experience in this book, Mahathir, The Art of Political Leadership. I would strongly recommend you to get a copy of my book as well as Mahathir's memoir, A Doctor in the House, to learn more about his childhood experience and how it shaped his leadership personality. To get the copy of my book and further information on our leadership training program, please click the link in the description below. To get the notification on my upcoming videos, please subscribe, like, and share this channel. Till then, thank you and have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.